What if one child could change the fate of an entire village? That's what happened in the quiet village of Tinubu Square, where a single cry broke years of silence. After years of longing and sorrow, Miriam and Goodluck finally had a child. But what started as a miracle would soon become a story of unshakable love and unexpected consequences. Once upon a time in the village of Tinubu Square, which was usually calm and quiet, that Friday, it was full of excitement. Mad excitement. The sound of tambourines mixed with the happy cheers of women as the news spread, Miriam and Goodluck finally had a baby. For many years, their house had felt empty. Miriam often sat at her door, watching other children play and laugh, dreaming of having a child of her own. Her husband, Goodluck, spent his time carving wooden animals and gods, keeping his hands busy while his heart felt heavy. One peaceful night, the sound of a baby's cry broke the silence. Their son, Samuel, was born. The whole village celebrated as if the child was a gift from God. People came with presents, soft blankets, small wooden toys, and baskets full of fruits. The midwife smiled and called Samuel a special child. Everyone noticed his thick dark hair and the way he seemed to stare at people as if he already knew them. Miriam held her baby close, her hands shaking as she gently touched his soft face. She smiled as he grabbed her finger and made small, happy noises. "You are my miracle," she said, tears running down her cheeks. Goodluck stood nearby, holding a small lion he had carved for Samuel. He smiled too, but a part of him felt unsure. He loved his son, but he worried that loving something so much could be dangerous. Miriam loved Samuel more than anything else. She watched him constantly, never letting him out of her sight. As he grew, Miriam wouldn't let him play outside with other kids. She didn't let neighbors hold him for too long and made excuses when they asked. Even when Samuel made mistakes, spilling water or scratching Goodluck's carvings, Miriam would not allow anyone to scold him. "He's just a child," she would say, her voice calm but firm. Samuel's bubble of protection grew around him, invisible to his young eyes but palpable to others. The other mothers began to whisper. "Miriam's boy is spoiled," one would say. "He will grow up without boundaries," warned another. Goodluck, torn between confrontation and the hope that time would temper Miriam's behavior, chose silence. The world, however, would not be so accommodating. When Samuel turned 5, an older boy from the village offered him a toy drum during a festivity. Miriam watched from a distance, nervous but curious to see Samuel socialize. Instead of gratitude, Samuel demanded to keep the drum and, when the boy hesitated, struck him hard across the face. The boy burst into tears, retreating to his own mother. Miriam rushed to Samuel, clutching him tightly and scolding the boy for not sharing. "You must understand," Miriam told the other mother sharply, rocking Samuel in her arms. "He's not used to being around others. He's still learning." The other mother said nothing but stared pointedly at the child Samuel, who stared back, smug and unrepentant. Samuel's world remained small. It was a cocoon of Miriam's making, woven from love, fear, and an unyielding desire to keep him safe from pain, discipline, and life's harsher lessons. As time passed, it seemed less a cocoon and more a cage. By the time Samuel turned 10, the once pudgy child with curious, expressive eyes had grown into a lean boy, sharp-featured and watchful. Miriam continued to cultivate his world, her love manifesting in an almost obsessive devotion to his every need. She ensured his meals were perfect, his clothes spotless, and his whims indulged with an efficiency that left no room for disappointment. But what she saw as care, others began to see as coddling. Samuel, ever perceptive, exploited his mother's devotion without realizing the depths of his dependency. He had come to believe that the world existed solely to cater to his desires, and that no one, save Miriam, truly mattered. It began subtly at first, the way Samuel would glance over at his mother whenever Goodluck tried to teach him something new, such as the art of wood carving. If he made a mistake and Goodluck gently corrected him, Samuel would sulk and retreat into the safety of his mother's lap. "He's still young, Goodluck," Miriam would quickly defend, smoothing Samuel's ruffled hair. "Let him be." Samuel soon became territorial, especially when it came to Miriam. If a neighbor lingered too long in conversation with her, or even if Goodluck attempted to share an affectionate moment, it gets him riled up. Samuel was always a quiet boy when he was young. But as he grew into his teenage years, things started to change. It wasn't the normal kind of teenage rebellion that people talk about. It was something much deeper, something heavier, that no one in the family could quite put their finger on. Samuel's behavior began to escalate, and it worried those around him, even if they tried to pretend it was normal. He started getting angry more often, and sometimes, that anger turned into aggression. He would snap at his father, Goodluck, over the smallest things, and he had an unhealthy need to control Miriam. She couldn't even talk freely to her friends anymore because Samuel would find a way to interfere. If Miriam was smiling or laughing, enjoying life with her friends, Samuel would sulk, or worse, interrupt, saying things that made everyone uncomfortable. Then one day, as Miriam was doing some cleaning in her son's room, she found an old, worn journal tucked under his bed. Thinking it might contain school notes or harmless scribbles, she opened it. But what she read made her heart stop for a moment. The words on the page weren't about football or school or friends. They were about her, page after page expressing obsessive feelings that didn't feel right. Love letters written to his own mother. Miriam sat down, shaken. She told herself it was probably just normal for a teenager to go through confusing emotions sometimes. Samuel is just growing up, she muttered to herself, trying to calm down. This is nothing serious, it's just a phase. She put the journal back where she found it and decided not to talk to anyone about it, hoping that one day Samuel would outgrow this strange behavior. But deep down, a small part of her knew something wasn't right. She just didn't want to believe it. In the months that followed, things in the house became even harder to handle. Samuel's mood swings got worse, and the tension in their small household grew so thick it was like breathing in smoke. Miriam's patience was wearing thin, but she kept telling herself that all Samuel needed was love. A mother's love can fix anything, she often repeated to herself, even when she felt doubt creeping in. The breaking point came one evening during a heated argument. It started over something small. Miriam had asked Samuel to pick up after himself, but Samuel snapped. His anger boiled over, and before she could calm the situation, Samuel said something that made the whole world stop. "I'm in love with you, Mom," he blurted out, his voice trembling with a mix of anger and raw intensity. "I can't stand seeing you with Dad or anyone else. You belong to me." Miriam froze, stunned. Her ears rang as the words repeated in her head. This was no phase, no ordinary teenage confusion. This was something much darker and scarier than she could have imagined. Tears filled her eyes, not from sadness but from pure shock and fear. Good Luck, hearing the commotion from the other room, rushed in to find Miriam and Samuel standing face to face, the tension like a ticking bomb about to go off. Good Luck, always a calm and practical man, told Miriam they needed to seek professional help immediately. "This is serious," he said firmly, his hand on Miriam's shoulder. But Miriam shook her head, her heart torn. She believed in her son, and in the power of love. "We don't need strangers getting involved in our family. I can handle this," she insisted, trying to convince herself more than anyone else. But Samuel's behavior only grew more unpredictable and dangerous in the days that followed. Miriam began to question her choices but still clung to the hope that her son could be saved through patience and understanding. Her love for Samuel and her growing fear for her own safety battled fiercely inside her, leaving her trapped in a storm she didn't know how to escape. It happened on a night that Miriam often revisited in her mind, over and over again. The night everything came crashing down. Miriam and Samuel had another argument. It felt like this was becoming a daily routine, but tonight Samuel seemed different. He wasn't just angry, there was a dangerous edge to him, a wildness in his eyes that Miriam had never seen before. The argument escalated quickly, his voice rising to shouts as he blamed Miriam for not understanding him, for not loving him the way he wanted. Before she could stop him, Samuel grabbed her arm, his grip tight enough to make her cry out in pain. "You don't get it," he shouted, his face inches from hers. "You don't belong to Dad, or anyone else. You're mine." Miriam's heart raced with fear as she struggled against him, pleading for him to let her go. She had never seen her son act like this before, and the realization that she might not be safe around him hit her like a wave. Just as Samuel's grip tightened, the front door banged open, and Good Luck rushed in, his face pale with worry. "Get away from her!" Good Luck shouted, pulling Samuel off Miriam and standing between them. For a moment, the room was filled with nothing but Samuel's heavy breathing and Miriam's quiet sobs. In that moment, Good Luck knew that things had gone too far. The next day, Samuel was taken away to get professional help. Good Luck made the arrangements, knowing it was what needed to be done, even though it broke his heart. Miriam, on the other hand, was left grappling with guilt. She replayed every small decision, every moment she brushed off warning signs, wondering if she had been too blind, too naive. She loved her son, but she also knew now that love wasn't enough. Samuel needed more than a mother's love, he needed the kind of help she couldn't provide on her own. As hard as it was, Miriam began to accept the truth. Sometimes, the best way to love someone is to let them get the help they need, no matter how much it hurts. Samuel started attending therapy sessions to help him deal with his emotions and actions. At the same time, his mother, Miriam, began to realize the mistakes she had made in how she raised him. She joined community meetings where parents shared their struggles and learned from each other. These meetings taught her important lessons about setting boundaries and taking care of herself too. Miriam began to understand how her constant closeness to Samuel had affected him and their family. While Samuel was in therapy, he started to face the feelings and behaviors he had hidden for so long. Slowly, he began to heal. His father, Goodluck, worked very hard, borrowing and saving money, to give Samuel the chance to study abroad. Finally, the opportunity came. Samuel was offered a chance to go to the United States of America for college. At first, Samuel refused. He said things like, "I can't leave my mother," and threw tantrums, insisting he couldn't imagine living in another country without her. But with more guidance in therapy, he began to understand that stepping away was part of growing up. Eventually, he became excited about the opportunity. He hugged his parents and boarded the plane for a new chapter of his life in America. When Samuel got to America, life began to change for him. He met new people, experienced a different culture, and opened his heart. Among these new friends, he met a young woman his age, and they fell in love. This was a new kind of love, different from what he had ever felt for his mother. For the first time, Samuel understood the difference between the care and love for a parent and the romantic feelings for a partner. Back in Nigeria, Miriam had grown into a different person. She became a voice in the community, speaking about mental health and how important it is to raise children in a way that helps them grow independently. She shared her story of how things went wrong in her relationship with Samuel, hoping it would teach other parents not to make the same mistakes as hers, especially the mistake of confusing a child's love for their parent with the kind of love meant for a partner. Miriam wanted others to know that in Africa, where incest is a strong taboo, it is crucial for parents to guide their children in the right way. Finally, after many years, Samuel returned home to Nigeria with his girlfriend. At the airport, the whole family stood together, Goodluck, Miriam, Samuel, and his girlfriend. When Samuel stepped out, they all hugged tightly, smiling and laughing. It was a beautiful moment of love, forgiveness, and healing. From that day on, the family continued to grow stronger, learning to respect each other's feelings and live in peace.
Thank you for watching to the very end. Congratulations, you've unlocked your chance to win our prize. To enter, simply leave a comment below. 1. Start with the name of your favorite character from this story. 2. Tell us where you're watching from. 3. And share at least one lesson you've learned from this story. The comment with the most likes and replies by 4 p.m. GMT tomorrow will be our winner. Get commenting, and good luck! I'll see you again on our next story. Until then, stay bookie bookie.